Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Father Ed Talks. My name is Father Edward, if you don't know who I am, and I'm so happy to welcome you back to a new episode. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about one of the biggest reasons why young people especially end up leaving the Christian church. They end up leaving because more often than not, they are totally unsatisfied with the answers that they get to the difficult and tough questions that they have to ask. Fundamentally, they end up not believing the teachings of the church. So today, I just wanted to address one of those very big questions that most of us will have asked in our lives. I certainly did when I was little. That question, well, if God made everything, who made God? This is Father Ed Talks. So guys, before we go any further, I was hoping to ask you a question, if you are happy to sort of play along in this little game. When you hear the word God, what do you think of? So I wonder, maybe, you can pause the video and, have a think about what you might automatically think of when you hear the word God. What is it that you think of? I'm guessing that more often than not, you may come up with some kind of answer that goes like this. God is, or at least Christians believe in, a God that is meant to be some kind of supreme being. And this supreme being is understood to be all-powerful, has all kinds of knowledge, unchanging, and everywhere. They use those words, don't they? Omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, omnibenevolent, all-loving, all-knowing, all-present, all-powerful. That tends to be what a lot of people think God is. Well, actually, Christians do not believe that that is God. Christians do not believe that God is some kind of supreme being that exists among other beings. God is not some kind of, to use the words of Richard Dawkins, some kind of spaghetti monster that is somewhere in the universe, and we can use scientific method, empirical method, using our sense experience, our eyes, our ears, to determine whether something is there. Fundamentally, God is not that. The second question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think existence means? What does it mean to exist? So I think most of us might agree that to exist means to somehow occupy space, to take up space, to, if you hit me, there's something there. I'm sitting on a chair, it must be there. Well, in philosophy, guys, we use different terms to describe things. And one of those terms is called contingent or contingency. It means it had the possibility of not existing. So what do I mean by that? Well, although I exist, I'm here now, I had the possibility of not existing. So if my mum and dad never met, never, got married, I wouldn't be here today. This chair that I'm sitting on, which is made of fabric and sponge and probably lots of other stuff that I don't understand, but wood, which comes from trees, this chair could have been something else. For example, the wood that was used to make this chair could have made the chair that you're sitting on. It didn't need to exist. Although it exists now, it didn't need to exist. And if we look at the world around us, the world is filled with what we might call contingent beings or contingent things. Even the trees that are outside in your garden or the flowers, although they exist, they occupy space, they didn't need to exist. And there was a possibility of them not existing. Now, if we look at all of the things around us, we can say that in the world, things have contingent existence. In other words, they were dependent on other things causing them to be. And those things in themselves were contingent on other things causing them. So for example, me, I'm caused by my parents. I didn't need to exist. My parents were caused by their parents, and their parents didn't need to exist either. So if we look at the world around us, everything that exists has contingent existence. But guys, if we go far back enough, we can see that there cannot be what philosophers call an infinite regress of contingent things. So in other words, for all eternity, you cannot say that contingent things sort of were caused by nothing. Contingent things have always existed from all eternity, if you think back, going, because that doesn't make much sense. We know from science, and my wife is a molecular neuroscience and a scientist, and I've got this from her, nothing comes out of nothing. In science, something doesn't come out of nothing. In other words, if everything in the world around us is contingent on other things causing them to be, well, that doesn't make sense, because out of nothing, nothing comes. We also know from science that there was a point at which the universe started, the Big Bang. So guys, we also use this term in philosophy called necessary existence. Necessary existence is fundamentally opposed and different to contingent existence. In other words, if we look back at how everything was contingent on other things, me on my parents, this chair on a tree, the tree on a seed, etc., etc., there has to have been a point where a non-contingent being caused all things to be. This Christians call God. God fundamentally has what philosophers call necessary existence. There was no point at which God did not exist and was caused by anything else. Christians believe God is the uncaused cause, the first mover of all things, the non-contingent being that caused all contingent things to be. So guys, in answer to that question, if God made everything, who made God? Or if God caused everything to be, who caused God to be? Fundamentally, God does not exist in that space. God has necessary existence outside space and outside time. So guys, I wonder what you think of that. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be so grateful to hear what you have to think. And if you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you're enjoying the content, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. But in the meantime, guys, I hope that was an interesting answer to the question, if God made everything, who made God? And I hope to see you very soon. Take care.